Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm live right now. And I forgot.
Okay.
I'll call you back.
All right.
See you. That's my lovely sister, y'all. That was my lovely sister, Mrs. Sean Dion Carter Atkins. I love me some her. All right, y'all. Let me go on to I forgot Facebook. You have to change the settings. So let me do that. Make it public so anybody can see it. All right. Beautiful. We're public now. Well, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, whichever applies to you, depending on when you may be watching this and where you may be watching this from. I am somewhat elated and a little nervous too, um, but also elated to share with you an excerpt from my new upcoming book. This is only my second book. My first book, wish I had a copy of it here. My first book that I wrote, it was when I was very deeply indoctrinated with and in religiosity. But since I began my spiritual journey, um, and since I have expanded in my thinking, expanded in my consciousness, expanded in my concepts of God or the divine, I haven't written. So this will be the first book that I've written on this side of religiosity, okay? Or from this side of religiosity to expanded consciousness or spirituality, however you want to view it. Um, so I'm not going to share the title of the book yet because although I do have a title, I've shared it with um, someone that did ask for the title. I shared it privately. My friend Jan, I did share it with them, but so I'm not going to share the title with you guys because my sister's on here. I'm not going to share the title with you guys because, like I was telling my sister, I don't know if the title's going to change or not. So um, the title might not even be the same after a while. So let me pull up. I'm going to go to. Let me tell y'all where my book is right now. That's where my book is right now. As you can see, um, I've got a folder that's entitled. Oh, that's not the folder. I got a folder entitled Book, and all of my notes. You can see each page, page 1, chapter 1, page 7, page. That's all the pages, and I haven't even transferred each chapter from my notes to a word processing program yet. So we are truly in the making of. Oh, let me turn on so I can see the comments. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, you love me too. Yes, that's my girl right there. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And this is another one of. Oh, that's my baby. That's my baby mama right there. I love this girl. What? I didn't spray nothing. I'm on live. Leave me alone, children. Oh Lord, they don't, y'all. They didn't came in here talking. Yes, baby. Oh no, that's the one I spit in. I'm sorry. I'm just playing. I was just playing, baby. That's yours. Yeah, this is the love of my life from across this, not across the sea. I was about to say across the sea. You're not across the sea, across the country. She on the west coast. Y'all, hey, before I get started, y'all look at my beard. It's gone. Y'all know my beard used to hang down to right there. My barber cut it off. I didn't even know it until earlier today. After I left the barbershop. It was probably about 2 or 3 hours after I left the barbershop that I found out that my beard was gone. But anyway, I got to get used to this. But but let's jump straight to the business here. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, sis. Look, let me tell you. You know when I found out I went live today because I was showing this jewelry that I purchased that came today. That is when I found out that my beard was gone. I had my phone and I turned on Facebook Live. I hit the live button and then I turned around and I looked when the camera came on. While I'm live, I'm going, "Oh my God, where's my beard?" That's how I found out on live. I hadn't looked in the mirror. I hadn't looked at children. Lord, why y'all got to be so loud? Come in the house making noise. All right, y'all, but let's jump right. If y'all don't stop. Hey, my brother. All right. So let's jump right to it, guys. Um, the title that I have in mind for this book is an amazing title. I may go with it. It's kind of kind of lengthy, but it's going to really draw people in. And it is my hope. I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. I don't really have this vast vision of notoriety across the world and all that kind of stuff. But with this particular book, I'm telling you, I really seriously hope that this book gets national attention. I think with some of the things that's going to be shared in this book, that it may not change people because that's not my goal. My goal is not to change anyone, but my goal is to trigger humanity to rethink, okay? To repent. But the true definition of repent, which the word repent means to actually think again. So it is my desire to trigger the world to think again. Even if even if you don't follow your your subconscious mind, okay? Even if you don't if thank you brother, even if you don't follow your thoughts, okay? I just want you to think because we do so many things at a subconscious level and we don't even think. Okay. Our belief systems, our memories, those things that are embedded within us, those inner strategies, they run our lives. And that's with every human being, whether you're religious, whether you're spiritual. But anyway, let's get into the book. I think I'm going to start with reading you a little bit from my introduction. I am going to start with page 1 of the introduction, and I'm only going to read the first few sentences or paragraphs of the introduction. And then I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to read a page or two, maybe a page from chapter 1. But let's start with the introduction. Are you ready? Okay, I only have like 4 people watching right now. Oh, let me share this. I'm going to share this to my group. I want to get those 4 people watching. Let me have at least 2 of y'all to tell me to type. If you're ready, type yes. Or ready. Okay, somebody said ready. All right, we can go with ready. Okay, so type. That's 1 already. So if I can get 1 more person to type ready while I'm sharing this to my group, one of my groups. As soon as I see another ready, we're going to go for it. Okay. Nikita is ready. Okay. Okay. We got a lot of readies. All right. Jerry is ready. Letha is ready. Okay. All right. So we ready. Give me 1 second to share this to 1 more place. And then I'm going to read a couple of lines from this, uh, from my introduction. Let me share it to the Spiritual Centers page, the church page. All right, let's go. So, book introduction. Are you all ready? I'm not going to ask the question because you just told me you're ready. All right, here's the introduction. I spent nearly 30 years of my ministry life as a fundamentalist Christian with a literal view of the Bible. I was deeply immersed in the traditions, doctrines, and teachings of the faith, convinced that the only way to God was through the rigid lens of biblical literalism. I believed, I preached, and I lived by what I was taught, what had been passed down to me, and what I, in turn, passed on to others. Yet, somewhere around 2018, I began to experience a profound internal conflict, a kind of cognitive dissonance that made it increasingly difficult to continue believing everything I thought I knew, everything I had learned, and everything I had taught others. Everything I held as absolute truth was suddenly in question. This was a painful experience. I had to realize that most of what I held as truth had no real basis to be considered fact. Many of my thoughts didn't even have an intelligent basis to be held as truth. This inner turmoil began slowly at first, a quiet questioning of things I had been taught and had taught others. I started to see the cracks in the foundation of my beliefs, beliefs that had been instilled in me without any real consideration or understanding of the culture, context, origins, or etymology of the biblical text. As I delved deeper into research, into study and research, this cognitive dissonance grew louder, challenging everything I had accepted without question. In hindsight, okay, I'm going to stop there. But I'm going to read some more from the intro. But I'm getting ready to go down towards the end. All right, here we go. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go down to the end. Over the years, many of these connections, I know you're not getting the full context because I skipped around, but just you'll follow it. Over the years, many of these connections and relationships have been restored in some ways. I will say that some of them, after all of these years, are now seeking to understand me instead of judging and condemning me. Of course, there are still a few folks that I have to cuss out and tell where to go and help them to get there if I need to. That is in the book, by the way. They thought I had left God. The truth is, I never left God. I finally found God. I found a God who was not an angry old man in the sky, sitting on a throne, waiting for us to make mistakes so he could send us to an eternal burning lake of fire. I discovered that God is not the unstable, ill tempered character depicted in so many of the scriptures, a narcissist who threatens eternal torment if you do not love him in precisely the way he demands. Isn't it strange to think that a being who is said to love us with an everlasting love would also create a place of eternal torment? A being who supposedly does not want anyone to perish, but to spend eternity with him. Why then would he create a hell at all? It just doesn't make any sense. No, I did not leave God. I rediscovered God. I came to understand that whatever God is, I am connected to it. I am a part of it. God can never leave me nor forsake me because what God is, I am. Yes, it is with me always, even until the end of this age. This book is an invitation to rethink and reimagine God, to have the same privilege the many authors of the Bible had, the freedom to develop your own thoughts and perspectives about the divine. It is about living life from the lens of personal experience and letting that experience shape your understanding of what God is to you. And I'm going to skip. I invite you to join me in this journey, to question, to reflect, and to explore. Let us discover together what God can be when we strip away all of the layers of human projection and look with fresh eyes at the divine. What do y'all think about that excerpt from the intro? It's not the entire intro. What do y'all think about that so far? Let me get some feedback before I read a page out of chapter 1. Y'all gonna give me some feedback? I ain't get no feedback. Y'all still here? Let me get some feedback. You may not agree. You don't have to agree with it, but I want to hear something. Let me hear you say something. Thank you. Thank you, baby love. I appreciate you. Thank you. I got some feedback. Now I'm happy. Now I don't have to cry. Where's the page? Oh, y'all, I'm missing. Oh, there it is. This is most definitely captivating. I can hear this as an audio book. You know what, baby? I thought about that. I really did. I was like, uh, do I want to read this book a second time? After I wrote it, after I finished finally writing this thing, I don't know if I ever want to read it again. But I did think about or getting somebody else to read it as an audiobook. But I'd like to put it in my own words, honestly. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Y'all got any more feedback for me? All right. Um, let's see what I am going to read in chapter 1. She says, I most definitely hear an audiobook. Oh, God, read by me for real? Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Um, let me see what page I'm going to read from chapter 1. By the way, y'all, I have only gotten through chapter 1. I got stuck when I got ready for chapter 2. I got so stuck. I'm trying to see. Oh, that's what I want, Nikita. That's my desire. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, okay, let's do page 3 of chapter 1. All right, page 3 of chapter 1. The title of chapter 1, I will give you the title of the chapters, okay, of chapter 1. The title of chapter 1 is The Human Imprint on the Divine, which I don't know if I'm going to keep that title or not, but for right now, the title of chapter 1 is The Human Imprint on the Divine. So I'm going to read starting at page 3, and I will not read the entire page. Actually, this is probably like 2 pages, but I'm only going to read a little bit. All right, so chapter 1, page 3, The Human Imprint on the Divine. As we've already touched upon, many of the ideas we hold about God are projections of our own human nature, rooted in our desire to make God relatable and understandable. But something else we need to consider is the sheer absurdity of some of the beliefs we've been taught to accept without question. Here's something to logically consider. I happen to believe in God. I just don't accept all the weird versions of God created by man. I see God as the divine, the mysterious, the mystical, the ever expanding, the all encompassing, the all. But here's where things get strange. We're told to believe that an all loving, all powerful God created the world and everything in it. And yet, we're also supposed to believe that this same God decided he didn't like the world he himself created and designed to work the way it does. And then, even stranger, we're expected to believe that God punishes this same world for behaving exactly the way he designed it to behave. Now, I don't know about you, but that's too freaking weird for me. It's illogical. It's unbelievable. It is unsound doctrine. How can anyone genuinely believe that a God who is supposedly all knowing could create something he regrets, something he would then turn around and punish for simply existing the way he designed it to? This version of God that we've been taught to accept, the one who creates the world, hates the way it turns out, and then punish it, isn't just weird. It's illogical on every level. Why would an omniscient, omnipotent God need to make mistakes? Why would a God who knows all things and can do all things regret his own actions and lash out against the very creation he formed? And how could an all knowing God, excuse me, and why couldn't an all knowing God just get it right the first time? If that version of God doesn't make your head spin and ask questions, then you're simply not thinking. Here's the truth, and this is the last paragraph I'm going to read. Here's the truth. The concept of God that we've inherited is, in many ways, a reflection of the humans. I'm sorry, let me start that sentence over. Here's the truth. The concept of God that we've inherited is, in many ways, a reflection of the human mind's limitations. We imagine a God who is unstable, fickle, and sometimes downright irrational because that's how we are. Let me read that sentence again. Let me read the whole thought again. Here's the truth. The concept of God that we've inherited is, in many ways, a reflection of the human mind's limitations. We imagine a God who is unstable, fickle, and sometimes downright irrational because that's how we are. The God, and I use that term loosely, that I have chosen to believe exists isn't constrained by these petty contradictions. The God that I've chosen to believe exists is often beyond our comprehension. A God who doesn't change its mind or punish creation for being what it designed its creation to be. I'm just going to read one more sentence, guys. We have to stop accepting these outdated, antiquated, nonsensical, man made versions of God without critically thinking about what they imply. I'm going to stop there. All right, feedback. Feedback on that half a page or two of chapter 1. What do you think about that? What do you think about chapter 1 so far? The human imprint upon the divine. Yes, it is, my friend, Chaplain Lunsford. What do y'all think about chapter 1? Ah, that's what I want to hear, Letha. That's exactly what that's mission accomplished. If nothing else happens but that, if nothing else happens but that right there, this, that. Don't talk about my fingernails. That's another story. Okay, there's a reason why I let them grow. Okay, it's because I accomplished the bad habit of biting. So now I don't touch them just because of that. By the way, through the power of hypnosis. Haha. It works. I am a certified hypnotherapist, by the way. But anyway, thank you, Letha. If nothing else happens, that's what I want right there. She says, love it. It definitely makes you think. That's all I want. All I want people to do is think. If you don't do, you don't have to change your belief system. Hey, as long as there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance there, something that stops and makes you rethink, repent, to think again. As long as that happens, that's it. That's all I care about. All right. All right. Thank you. Anybody else that listened to any of those lines from paragraphs or page or so from chapter 1? What do you think? Anybody else? Anybody else got any feedback for me? Positive or negative? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Hey, Bishop. Love you, sir. Love you much. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love you more. You're like a son to me, and I love you more. Most certainly. All right. Any more feedback? But I tell you, this right here just does it for me. Thank you so much, Letha. And guys, I'm going to tell you this type of thought provoking information, this type of thought provoking presentation and information. By the way, that's what you're going to get at the center. That's what you're going to get at our spiritual center. That's what you're going to get at our church. You are going to get the church experience. There is, and by that I mean the culture, not the indoctrination, but you're going to get the culture. You're going to get the singing. You're going to get the joy. You're going to get all of that. You're going to get the singing, the joy. There's often a little bit of joyful celebration with dancing, hand clapping, and all of that stuff too. We're going to talk about the divine. We're going to talk about God, if you will, quote unquote, if you prefer to use that term. Like one of the ladies that frequents our church at times, she says, this is Apostle Veronica Israel. She says when she comes to the church, she'll say, God by all names known. And I love that. That has stuck with me. So you'll hear us talking about God by all names known, because God is not limited to this, technically, this German, is it German or, yeah, I think it's German, this German originated word, God. Okay. Um, so yeah, and what has become an English word, it is not limited to that. That's why sometimes you hear us say, a lot of people don't understand when we say words like source. Okay, we're taking the limits off of what we call God. It is unlimited. It is neither male nor female. Okay, all right. It is genderless. Okay, if you will, it's non-binary. Okay, if you will, it's non-binary, and it's also them, they. Okay, I'm learning about some of them pronouns, y'all. It's also them, they. God is them, they, because if you look at the Bible, which I see this story of Genesis as an allegory, but if you look at it, uh, it describes God as they them. Okay, because it says, let us make man in our own image. That's not singular, right? That's plural. That's they, them. Okay. So God is non-binary, or God's pronouns are they, them. Let us make man in our own image. And the very word God in the Hebrew text, in that particular Hebrew text, is the word Elohim, and the Elohim would be the proper verbiage, but the Elohim means the gods with an S. Okay, all right, but we won't go into that right now. All right. So you'll hear us at the center, at the church, at our church. You'll get all of that, but when it comes time to sharing, this is the type of stuff you're going to get. Things that make you think, things that challenge you and persuade you and push you to have a personal encounter with the divine, not to go off of something that's written in a book. Okay. Um, I find value in this book right here. This is the Bible. Okay. This is the Bible. I find value in this. All right. There's value, definitely. There are universal laws and principles that are found in here that can be life-changing when you view them in the proper way. But what we encourage at our church is not to form a relationship based on other people's relationship. Why are you borrowing from their relationship? Yeah, read it, reference it, whatever. This is their representation. This is their perspective. This is about their encounter with the divine. Why are you not having your own encounter with the divine? And do you see how many people are named in this text, in this library of books? Do you see library of writings? Do you see how many hundreds of people are in here, and each one of them had their own experience with God, and they all did not align. They all were different. They were personal. And you think that, okay, all of these people in this book were able to have all of their various experiences with God. So after that, when it comes to you, you're not supposed to have your own. No, you're supposed to go look at theirs and try to copy theirs and try to make yours like theirs. What? How does that even sound? No, you too are allowed to have a personal encounter and a personal experience with what I call the divine or God. Anyway, thank you, Nikita. I saw your comment. Thank you so much. She says, I love it. Very didactic. Thank you. Can't wait to hear more. Yay. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you really got me thinking about, Nikita, doing that audio book as well myself. I just have to get in somebody's studio and make it happen. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. If you just got on, I'm getting ready to get off. I read a little bit from my upcoming book that's still in progress or in process as well. Well, progress because it's still being written. I did share a little bit from the introduction. The introduction is going to be very inviting. It's going to, you didn't hear it all, but it's going to have a little bit of my personal story in it. So, you want to learn about me? Get my book. You're going to learn a lot about me. If you've been trying to figure out where is Bishop Broadnax, where is he at mentally, where is he at spiritually, what is wrong with this man, get my book when it comes out. Get my book, and I promise you, all of your questions will be answered. And some of you are going to go like, oh, I see. Okay. So he didn't go crazy. Some of my old members might be like, okay, maybe I'll go back to the church. I don't know. They might. And some of you have already started coming back, and thank you so much. I appreciate you. But so I read from the intro and I read from page 3 of chapter 1. And I do appreciate you guys listening tonight. If you did not hear it, you can go back and see it later on the replay. And if you are here on the replay, at some point, I hope you hit hashtag replay so that I'll know that you watched the replay. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night, and I love you so much. I can't wait to experience your feedback as the book evolves and as you purchase your personal copy and as you read it. I can't wait to experience your love and your support and your personal feedback about the book and how it may have affected your life. I hope you buy a copy for somebody else once it gets published, and maybe it'll change their life and also make them think like this page made her think, or at least she testifies that it could make people think. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Bye bye. I love you much.